Welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to do a cost breakdown of what it costs to live in Dubai. Let's run through the numbers.
Okay, so the first one is rent, which I think is most people's biggest expense. So how much do you pay for rent, babe?
£1,800. That's for a 2-bed apartment, and that includes our bills, electric, everything you can think of to do with housing.
Yeah, I'd also say, like, generally speaking, £1,800 is quite fair, unless you're living in Business Bay or some of the like key hotspot areas. £1,800 for everything per month is what you'd expect to pay. But that can increase significantly if you're in Business Bay or the Marina or the Palm especially.
Yeah, we're in fairly affordable housing. Now, to do with our household shop, how much could we expect to pay each month?
So I've got down here that we spend about £300 to £350 a month, which is about fair.
Yeah.
I think when we first moved to Dubai, we were just shopping anywhere, to be honest with you. We weren't really looking at what was cost effective. We would even sometimes just order in. You've got these apps where you can literally have groceries delivered in 10-15 minutes, but obviously that comes at a premium. But recently we've actually been quite selective about where we shop. So sometimes actually we go as far as driving 45 minutes to an hour. We do a big shop which lasts about a month for meat, put it in the freezer, and then we do a weekly shop for like fruits, veg, and like just basic things that we need, perishables, basic things that we need in the house.
Okay, transport. So to get around, we have a car, a fairly basic car. It is not...
Yeah, very, very basic. I don't even know if we'll put a picture up, but it's just basic, to be honest.
But yeah, a basic car because we work from home and we don't need a fancy car at this point in life. But that costs us around £330 a month to rent, and then we pay £60 a month for fuel. That's to get around. And to be fair, in Dubai, fuel is quite affordable.
Yeah, regardless of what car you have, unless you're driving a Ferrari, it probably costs you about £20, maybe even less than that for a full tank. And we probably burn through a full tank, or 3/4 of one at least, in a week's time. So you probably end up spending about £15-16 a month on fuel.
Yeah.
But yeah, the car is about £330. If you're driving a more like reasonable car, like maybe a 7-seater 4x4, you could be paying as much as £450-500 a month. But for our car, yeah, it's only about £330.
Okay, let's talk about the company permit and visa. This is something we have to worry about because we have our own business here. But for some other people, that is not something that they have to worry about, especially if they're under an employment visa.
Yeah.
For us though, how much does it cost?
So for our company permit, we pay £330 a month. It kind of varies annually, so it's an annual payment. It lasts for 12 months, and then we save every month, expecting to pay the full amount at the end of the year. Yeah, we pay £330, and depending on pricing, etc., at the time that you go for renewal, you could be off by a few £100 or so. But yeah, we put aside £330 for that. The next thing is visas. So we have 2-year visas, which I think most people have, to be honest.
Yeah.
Now, if you're smart about it and you save 2 years in advance, it's about £150 or so a month. But in our first year here, we weren't saving for our visa, so we've only got a year to save for it. So we've been saving about £300 a month for that. That being said though, we are also shifting to a golden visa, which is about the same cost, believe it or not, but it gives you a 10-year visa, so it's far more economical. But obviously not everybody can get it.
So now let's talk about health. Health is wealth here. And
yeah.
we invest quite a bit in our health insurance. You are probably going to be gobsmacked at how much we pay for health insurance.
Depending who's watching, to be honest, but yeah. Probably one of our bigger expenses.
Yes, it is one of the biggest purchases we make.
Yeah.
That comes in at around £1,020 a month. That is probably one of the best like health plans we could get in Dubai.
Yeah.
It covers maternity cover. So if I was to fall pregnant or
yeah. Okay. Let me justify it, right?
Okay.
And our thinking. So let me justify it because it is quite a bit. So Hardy was slightly premature, and as parents, you just don't know what could go wrong after that. So we wanted to make sure that we had an insurance policy that just covered us for anything that could happen. And we won't have to worry about paying anything else on top. We won't have to worry about which hospitals that we can take her to. Basically, the policy that she's under, she can go to any hospital in the UAE, but also gives her global coverage. And actually, she's on the same policy as Ash. And with that policy, it allows you to have one child added on for free. So that's about £800 or so a month. But it varies based on the pound or dirhams to pounds exchange rate. So like last month I think we spent about £870 or so, and then the extra £200-300 or so, which takes it up to £1,000 a month, is actually my health insurance, which is much less, because I think it's much less for me. But I do think we have a plan to increase my policy over time, but it's not something that's a big priority for us, as of now anyway.
And you have a local health insurance, right?
Yeah, no, mine is global coverage.
Okay.
So mine is global coverage, but it just has little things like copay. So when we go to the hospital, for example, I will have to top up. I think it's capped at like £50, but I do have to top up. And there are certain hospitals which I can't go to, but the main hospital, which we use as a family, I do have access to, which is what was important for us.
Okay, now let's talk about having a child. Of course, we spoke about her health insurance, but there are like small costs here and there. And for us, how we like to manage our finances is we separate those costs. So we give her own spending money.
We spend for her. Yeah.
Pocket money. And yeah, she's had that since birth. So how much we actually spend each month on our child, it's probably around £300 a month. That includes her classes. She goes to swimming, she has like phonics classes, and also shopping. So new shoes, new clothes. Oh my gosh, their feet grow so quickly. So yeah, she has a budget, and we try to stick within that budget for her.
Yeah, no, we don't go over that budget, to be honest. I think it's probably even more than what she needs. Most months. And then we also try to go on at least one date with her a week. So if we take her to a soft play or just do something for her, or if we go out and buy her ice cream or something, anyway, that's where that comes from.
So the ice cream you bought the other day?
The ice cream I bought yesterday, was from her money, of course.
Okay, fair enough. I thought it was on Daddy.
It wasn't on Daddy.
Okay. Okay, so going out and date nights.
Mommy and Daddy are out.
Yeah.
How much do we spend on that?
Date nights. So I know, just because I know, I'm looking at my sheet, but I can't see it. But I know we budget £100 a month for date nights, which is actually quite low, I would say.
Yeah.
Especially if you plan to go out once a week. And with our date nights, we try to be a bit more affordable, and a bit more like conservative, so we can have date nights at home. We'll go get a bottle of wine, or we might order in. I'll have the wine normally, or get a takeaway, sit down and watch Netflix for the evening and just chill out. But £100 is what we budget. We do have plans to increase that over time, but for now, like where we are as a family, we've got much bigger expenses and different priorities, and where we allocate money. But yeah, we still have time for date nights though.
Yeah, and I think as well, like going out and date nights kind of merge, especially when you start doing like friendship outings. So we're also trying to make that cover the outings that we do with families, right?
Yeah, so we if you're coming to Dubai, if you're in Dubai, you know that there is always something on.
Yeah.
Like this weekend we had 2 different meetups with friends.
Yeah.
Couples. So you're always going out, and so our date night pot does also cover those trips as well. They're not always expensive, but like for example on Saturday we went to a mate's house and we took a bottle of alcohol which Ash dropped, by the way, as we were entering, and it shattered.
Really
and we wasted money.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
But anyway, we move, and that's what that comes to. Anyway, what's next?
Okay, self-care. So
what is self-care?
Self-care, I get my nails done, do my hair.
Okay, fine, yeah.
Yeah, so self-care doesn't come out of our spending money. It is in a separate pot, and yeah, we just thought when we first got married, we really prioritized that. We didn't want to look like we're saving, you know?
It's not about looking like you're saving, it's just like nice things to do. Anyway, so you spend
around £170 a month.
17. How much did you say?
We have budgeted like £170 a month.
170?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, no, so 118 £118 goes towards you, and that's your hair and your nails. And then I get £50, which I use for football. So football costs me about a tenner a week, and that's what I use my 50 quid on. So yeah, it's £168, but yeah, 118 to you, 50 to me.
Yeah, we all have different versions of self-care, and yeah, that's for us. And then Misc, so miscellaneous stuff, we budget around £50 for that. And then we also take into account like salary and any interest that we get from our high yield. Yeah,
so £50 plus also interest we get from high interest or high interest savings accounts, yeah, basically. But in total it's probably closer to like £100 or so in total, and that just covers anything. Like, it was annoying, like for 3 months in a row we had an issue in our bathroom. It was different issues, like the tap stopped working, so we had to call someone out to fix that. The shower stopped working, so we had to call someone out to fix that. Hot water wasn't working, so we had to call someone to come and fix that. So it was just issue after issue after issue, but that was coming out of Misc.
And another thing I would add is we also have a separate pot for gifts. We tend to...
That's a recent thing.
Yeah, but I think recently we realised that we were dipping into other pots to cover things like gifts for people's kids and stuff like that. So
parents' birthdays, siblings' birthdays.
Yeah, like we just realised we needed to start budgeting for that separately, so other things were not kind of tampered with.
Yeah.
So we probably spend around £150 a month on that, say.
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends. Like, it could be as low as £50 some months, and then as high as £150. You know, if you've got a lot of birthdays in 1 month. January, which is this month, is one of those months where it's my mum's birthday, it's my little brother's birthday, it's Ash's little brother's birthday. Who else? And then there was also, we have a really good friend of ours who had a baby this month. So yeah, it was one of those months.
So there you have it. That's our cost breakdown, and the rest of the money basically goes into savings, investments, and everything else that we...
savings, investments, and also giving, which we're not going to talk about, obviously. Okay guys, so that wraps up our monthly budgeting. But look, the reality is month over month, because we are digital nomads, a lot of these pools or categories do shift. Like for example, when we're in the UK, rent is next to nothing, thanks mum. But you know, driving a car is slightly more expensive to rent. So anyway, that's just an indicative budget of what a family of 3 in Dubai looks like. Guys, let us know if you think there's tips for us to save money anywhere in any of those pots, or even ask us any questions and we'll be happy to answer. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
So we'll see you soon in the next video. Bye.
Awesome. Bye guys.